Hey everyone. Hold on. Let me get back to. Um, oh, all right. So, for those of you that don't know or are just coming in here and finding out, we found out that Serendipity passed away Saturday night, which is weird because she did a live Saturday afternoon and it seems that she OD'd at night. I don't know all the details because I do know she died. She OD'd. That's how she died. So, do me a favor though, mods, anybody has comes in here with anything stupid or negative, delete immediately. Just delete it. I don't give a shit who it is. I don't care. Just delete it. End of story. No even nothing. Just delete. So as as we heard, but it was very hard to hear the person that told us, and most people don't even watch her. But if you don't know who Serendipity is, she's from the drama community. As you know, me, Tiffany, a lot of us were here from the drama community. Sarah used to be a Patreon of mine. We've had definitely had our arguments, definitely had our fights. She definitely made a ton of videos about me, but we then made peace. But just like any other ex Patreon, yeah, I heard about that, Andrea. She was approved for a loan and got it. The problem is, Andrea, if she got it and she physically got it, we don't know what happened. No, she was still married to Brendan. So, just like any other ex Patreon, she was with us for what, like a year and a half. And she was always been part of my community, regardless of how many fights we had. I would talk to her. I try to get her help. I tried, every time I saw she was doing good, I encouraged her to do good. And you can't help addiction. And being that I have just lost somebody to addiction, I kind of felt like I wanted to go live. Thank you, Susan. I wanted to go live, and it's not going to be a long live. I'm only going to be here for about a half hour, but I just wanted to let everyone know what was going on, what, how, who, what, when, where, why, or how. One thing I did hear, though, with the person that had gone live and told everybody, I was absolutely blown away at the stuff I was hearing. I know Tracy won't do this. I know TNT won't do this. But I felt like after hearing everything we heard, don't go live about Sarah and talk about Brandon or bad this or bad that or what you got out of this. Just talk about Sarah's life and talk about the good things about Sarah and talk, who cares about all the negative? Who cares about the BS? Who cares what she did or who she did it to? She's gone and you can't bring her back. This is where I got upset. You can't bring her back. And I say the same things about Brad, honestly. Like I could bash Brad all day long, but you can't bring him back. Addiction is a horrible, horrible, horrible disease. And it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what class you're in, what level you're in, how rich you are, how poor you are, how ugly you are, how pretty you are, how fat you are, how ugly, how beautiful you are. It doesn't matter. Addiction affects anybody. And it's truly, truly sad. Yeah, she's a fellow YouTuber. She's from the drama community. We all knew that she was having, for the last, I would say, year, she's having a rough time. And what was hard is she would go live and we would watch her slowly disintegrate, I guess is the right word. I don't know the right word I'm looking for, but she would slowly, like, a lot of us, and I can't even say a lot of her own ex-friends, friends, people did try to reach out to her. They try to help her. I think as a community, everybody wanted her to get better. Everybody was watching her destroy herself, and it was very, very hard to watch. And when she would, be sober for a day, or she would be sober, you would feel good. You'd be like, all right, she's making progress. She's making progress. And you wanted her to just do the right thing. You wanted her to, just please, Sarah, just do it. Just go get help. And then she would do good for deteriorate her. Yeah, I don't know the right word. I can't think of the right word. But, everybody wanted her to get sober and stay sober. She always got sober, but she couldn't stay sober. And sobriety is hard. There's only one thing harder than watching somebody go down is hearing about somebody go down, is watching it and declining, yes. And her sobriety meant a lot to a lot of people, and we were all hoping that she was going to pull through and she was going to do it. I honestly did not see this coming. I just didn't see it coming. I hadn't spoken to her personally in a while, so I don't know what was going on in her home life, but you know what? She was in her 30s, or 40s, 30s or 40s. She was young. It doesn't matter what's going on in her whole life, in her home life. It didn't matter if, why Brendan was there, Brendan's her husband at the end of the day. And you can't blame anybody for this. It's not anybody's fault. Anyone that ever lost somebody to addiction, it's real. Addiction is real. The problems of addiction are real. Fentanyl is real. Way too many people are dying of fentanyl. Way too many people are dying from overdoses. And, it's the worst thing, the worst feeling in the world, feeling like you can't get sober, but you can. No matter what, you can. I've been there. A lot of us have been there. And just when you feel like there's no hope, you can get hope. Like, you can get there. So it's horrible that this happened. It's horrible that addiction took another young life. It's horrible that in our society, drugs are so prevalent and addiction is so bad. I know fentanyl is everywhere. And Adrian, that's right. You were a mod for her. I forgot. And it's just sad. It really is sad. I feel horrible for her daughter. I feel horrible for Brendan. I feel horrible for her son. But again, it can affect anybody. It can affect your son. It can affect your daughter. It can affect your mom. It can affect your dad. It can affect anybody at any time. So don't think your son or daughter, or your future son or daughter, or your nephew or your niece or somebody can't be affected by it. It is my biggest fear. My absolute biggest fear. Because I know what it's like. And I know how it feels, and it's not a good feeling. It's horrible. So I wish her family the best. Does anyone know exactly how old she was? Was she in her 30s or 40s? Yeah, she had to be in her 40s, right? This was a woman. I could tell you a little bit about her that sticks out to me. She was a teen mom. I believe it was her daughter that she gave birth to when she was 15. And she made it. Like, she had some rough times, but she pulled through and she made it. Hey, Marty, she, you know, was gonna, what's the word I'm looking for? She was gonna overcome the thought that a very young person could not raise a child. Her mom had her issues as well. She was in her 40s. Okay, I couldn't remember how old she was. And she did, you know, she raised her daughter. She overcame, oh, currently in her Discord. Okay, she overcame her fears about being a single mom, and she did the best that she could. And even trying to get sober, she did the best that she could. The problem with addicts, and I mean addicts across the board, it doesn't take much to get us to go get high again. It takes one little thing and we want to get high again. One little thing to give us an excuse and we're getting high. One little thing. It could be the stupidest fucking thing in the world. And I mean the stupidest thing in the world. I used to get high because I had road rage because I fought with somebody in the fucking street. So that was a reason to go get high. That's how addicts think. Sara was going through a lot of stuff. Personally, from what I understand, people on YouTube weren't helping. And I'm not, believe me, I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. But people berating her and everything else didn't exactly help her mentality. But again, these are people on YouTube and people thought they were trying to help her. You know, there comes a point where you have to have tough love and you can only be nice to someone so long. And then when you're really watching their downfall and you're really watching everything go down, you kind of say, okay, well, that way is not working. Let's try tough love. Maybe tough love will work. So that's why I'm saying I'm not blaming anybody or saying you shouldn't have done this and this. I'm not like the assholes over there that do say shit like that. You can see it even coming in here. Exactly. Sara wanted to be accepted. Sara wanted to be loved. Sara was extremely insecure. She was extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? She showed signs of a typical addict. I don't know how else to say it. But as an addict, you are insecure and you want to be accepted and you want to be loved and you want to, I don't know how else to put it into words, but Sara meant well. Even when she was horrible, she still meant well. She did certain things. She said certain things that you didn't really understand why she went so hard for people, or because that was her addiction. That was what she did. But that's okay. We all have our vices. We all have our reasons for doing what we do, or why we're addicted to something, or why we're addicted to this. Thank you, niece. I didn't know her son's name. So Brandon, Bray, and Daniel. Thank you. Yeah, she did it. No, not yesterday, Saturday. Because I looked. It was Saturday. Exactly, Krug's wifey. As a recovering addict, I'm still insecure. That's what I'm saying. And every addict in here knows exactly what I'm talking about. Her daughter is pregnant. I didn't know if Tacos was saying her daughter was pregnant again or she was pregnant. I didn't know. But thank you for clearing that up. I was a mod too, and people were being horrible to her the other day regarding her loan. She held strong, but I heard the shakiness in her voice, and she left pressure to prove herself. So that's what I'm saying, Chasing. You know, just like the same idiots that are coming in here making their comments with false shit, like, A, I never made a candle, but B, okay, say whatever you want. But this isn't about your hate towards me or what you don't like about me. This is my whole point. This is about Sara. And if you can't be mature enough to just make it about Sara, then you don't belong in here. You don't belong anywhere, to be honest. Just saying. Her last live, she said she had talked to her dad after many years and he told her he was proud of her. That could also cause somebody to relapse. I know that sounds crazy, Sweet Pea. I don't know if you're a recovering addict or not, but even something like that, if someone that you haven't spoken to tells you something like that, that can cause a relapse. Because now you start getting in your own head about why, how come they weren't proud of me all these years? Why did I not speak to them all these years? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? It's just, I can't explain it in words, but again, any addict in here knows exactly what I'm talking about. You just find excuses and you make excuses for, why you have to get high. We've all done it. Yeah, you feel bad. It's horrible. Brett Baxter really great with her on that line. Yeah, I didn't watch it. Exactly. If you can't be respectful to Sara, just go. Because any hate you're putting towards me, you just gotta go. Just go. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about Sara and Sarah's legacy. Not about, what Sara did or who she left what to. It's about her legacy. Keep it that way. If you have something nice to say about Sara, go right ahead. If you don't, then don't. But coming in here trying to bash me during a live about addiction and Sara, you're the one with the problem. Not me. Just saying. If you've been there. Exactly. Just finishing processing it. That's why I said it was yesterday. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. Having a bad hair day. Like, I'm telling you, I remember driving down the road and some guy pissed me off and I gave him the finger, and that was a reason to go get high. In South Georgia, the sad part is that's usually how it happens. Something triggered her that night, or maybe she had fentanyl. I don't know. I agree, Sammy. They can't even contain themselves. I totally agree. And I've always said, believe me, if I can forgive Sara, anybody can forgive Sara. Thanks, Katie. And, again, I wasn't close with Sara at all. I mean, I was at one point, but not in the last, 2 years? I haven't been close with her. Friendly, but not close with her. But that's not what this live is about. This live is about just after what I heard in the other live. Please don't bash Brandon. Please don't air Sara's dirty secrets. I mean, that's just fucked up. Or what she said or what she did. Like, come on. It's not about that. Talk about that stuff privately. But one thing I will say is, Bree, if you do hear this, which I'm sure you will, please contact me. Adrian can give you my information. But yeah, you need to get a lawyer and get everything over in your name. And I know it's not something you want to deal with, right now, but it's something you need to deal with right now, as horrible as that is, since you put it out there. So you need to get an attorney and just do it. Gretchen, Sara's died. Saturday night. From what I heard, Saturday night. She died of an OD Saturday night. Gretchen, I didn't mean snap at you. I read that wrong. I think you were coming in here like, an asshole. But after I read it twice, I knew what you meant. So I apologize for snapping. I agree. It's sad for anyone to lose their life, especially someone so young. And again, we watched it. Like, we saw it online. We just watched it happen. And it's sad. It really is sad. Because I know that everybody just wanted her to, I think so too, St. Elmo's Fire. I really do. But, I mean, we don't have confirmation of it. Lose two? What do you mean lose two? Live it every day with my son. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with in my life. It's horrible. I barely function myself with all the worry every day. I can only imagine. Hey, Bonnie. The decline, absolutely. Oh, fentanyl is rapid everywhere. You know, honestly, I don't think she did it on purpose. I really don't. Sara didn't seem like that type. She didn't seem like she wanted to go. But when it comes to addiction, that pain is too much. She was very positive on Saturday. That's when it seems to happen. That's like Brad. Brad was supposedly getting his life back on track. And then 2 days, he was working again, and then he died. Tony, it's someone from the drama community. She's an ex-Patreon. Rapid or rampant? What do you mean? I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm not using the right words. All right? My ex died 2 months ago, and now Sara died of this exact same kind of overdose. So I'm sorry if my grammar is not on point. Oh, no, I'm serious, Jen. No, you know what it is, Gretchen? Just like you know about death, like one person and then you think about the other person, that kind of thing. That's kind of where I'm at. Just because she died. We just found out a little while ago. Oh, family's sick. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Bonnie. I know, South Georgia. They're just assholes. Just ignore them. Every time things were doing good, it's exactly right. Because you know what it is? You don't realize that you deserve happiness, and you don't realize that you deserve to be happy. And that's the sad part. She was early 40s. I agree, Shell. The drug is killing people. Adderall was laced with fentanyl? How's that possible? Yeah, it was an OD. And the person that we heard it from, oh God. Their hysterics were too much. Was she very positive? That's good. That's why I'm saying I don't think she did it intentionally. South Georgia, are you a recovering addict or an addict or touch with addiction? Oh, I agree, Monica. Totally agree. Oh, no shit, Anita. That's tough. People shouldn't do drugs. I agree. But unfortunately, drug addicts do. There you go, Georgia. Then you understand too. Shall I don't mind lately? Neodymium was the capper. Yeah. It's just horrible. Drugs are bad, exactly. You have to get ourselves see the happiness isn't going to come from a drug. That is true. Especially those drugs. See, I personally had a hard time listening to her just because. All right, so she had gotten a $17,000 loan Saturday morning to save her house and was real excited. Did she actually get the cash? I mean, because unfortunately, that may have what caused her OD. She OD'd last week. The Narcan, she came from ER. As high 3 hours later. Yep. It is easy to OD. Especially from certain drugs. Addiction is complicated. No one answer. I'm blessed to have never experienced it. Yes, it is blessed. Oh, absolutely, Glamorous Life, because she was a Patreon. People forget that. She was with me for a year and a half. She was part of this community for a year and a half. Yeah, we had our fights. Oh, well. That's childish. It's a fight on YouTube. Who cares? Yeah, people do take drugs for a variety of reasons. Hey, Monica. That's a good way to look at it. I like that. People need to understand drugs are bad, but the people that do drugs are not always bad. They deserve respect. I agree. Most of the time. But I do agree with you. Will you be offended if I ask what drug you used? I was big cocaine. I was cocaine. I never really got into any other drugs. I didn't like pills. I didn't like any downers. I was cocaine. I know, I'm not offended. I've talked about it. Yeah, cats with meow. Sarah passed away Saturday night. Her daughter said they're pretty sure that's what it was, but going to police station to speak to them. All right, she was talking about the Treasury paying them $6.95 a month, and this loan was a blessing. Yes, misdemeanor. Yep, even though people leave, we don't stop caring about them. And she doesn't mean in death. She's saying Patreon. And yeah, like I said, me and Sarah have had our fights, so I've had a lot of fights with people, and it's called being an adult, and you move past it. I don't wallow in all this bullshit over and over and over, and anyone that knows me knows that. Running grief and something different, like ripping off beginning of a scab, even if distant, it makes me grieve. David Moore, exactly. I figured you would understand, Gretchen. Hydros while taking Klonopin. I went off because of the deaths. I went off in March. I went through my doctor. Drugs are bad, but we love the people behind them. It is sad, Shell. It really is. They did do addiction streams. Yes, Sarah passed. They did do addiction streams. And then something happened with her and she just couldn't get it together. Now, when she was a Patreon, she told me a lot of personal stuff, and I could see how this was slowly getting into where it is, but I was really hoping that she wouldn't. Exactly, Glamorous Life. That's my point. Glamorous Life just nailed it on the head. This YouTube stuff is petty. Who gives a shit? Good for you, Nikki. YouTube arguments are just that, YouTube. Doesn't mean you disliked her, it just mean you fell in and out. It's exactly right. But a lot of these people are so filled with hate, they can't see that. I'm surprised there's not lives bashing Sarah, because there were plenty of lives bashing her before. But that was the whole point of this live, is let's get through this. This is just another loss in this community. Drama community's had a lot of losses recently. I think this is the third one this year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's the third one this year for the drama community. Good for you, Sky Blue. I'm assuming she did, Monica. I agree, Last Kiss. Totally agree. Sarah had a good heart. Exactly. Hurt people hurt people. Kind of makes sense. That's exactly right. Cats with meow. Yeah, Kit Kat, Mary, and Sarah. All from the drama community. And they're all young. I don't think any of them were over the age of 50. Well, Kit Kat, I think, was, but 55. Sarah, a lot of people cared about her. You may have been virtual friends, but still cared. I agree. And that's why I'm saying anybody who has ever is dealing with anyone with addiction, don't give up. Don't give up on them. Don't berate them, but don't give up on them. You know, force them into recovery. Try to do whatever you can to get them in recovery. It's a hard road. It's much easier to keep doing drugs. Believe me. I don't even know what kicked in to make me stop. Well, I do know, but... And the person I stopped for is now dead from drugs. Good for you, Anita. I don't know how many years. 2008? So how many years? I stopped counting years ago. Because I convinced myself I don't do drugs. I never do drugs anymore. Scares me to get close to anyone and keep my walls up. Sometimes people do have to fall, but lately it's people are falling and not coming back up. Good for you, Rachel. See, heroin was never a drug I got into. I don't like downers. Exactly, Labs. And no matter what, Sarah was someone's baby and she was someone's child. That mom loved her. I agree. Definitely, High Priestess Angelique. My prayers go out to anybody who's dealing with an addict, anybody who's dealing with a drug addict. It's a long, hard road. And nothing worse than death. Feel deeper for their families and relate horror. My BFF's mom died. I got ready for funeral but couldn't walk out the door. I sat on my bed and cried instead for David. Not my BFF. That I can relate to that, Gretchen. I can totally relate. Oh, you didn't like uppers? Oh, I was the opposite. Total opposite. How do you stop? How long did you do? Oh, I did cocaine for half my life. From 16 or 17 until 30. Oh, it was like 35? 36. 36? Kids were born in... No. Dayton was little. He was just born. So I want to say the beginning of 2008, from age 17 to 2008. I think it was February of 2008 that I quit. It was right after Dayton was born. And how did I quit? I looked at Brad one day and I said, I can't do this anymore. I said, we have to stop. I said, and if I don't do it, then you won't do it, and we just have to stop. And then and I did, and I never did it again. Doctors got her hooked. That's what I was deathly afraid of with Phoenix. And I don't regret my decision to not give him excessive amount of perks and all the other stuff they wanted to put him on. Do not like the fit. Yeah, I don't like pills. I don't like any of those. And I've done heroin. I just never liked it. Something a part of the psyche that does this. Grief is supposed to be a process, but it's become my lifestyle. I'm probably dying grief because I don't know what stage I'm in. It doesn't feel close to the end. Ah, thank you, Diane. Yeah, I never thought that cocaine, it would be something I could quit. And oh yeah, I was in treatment a bunch of times. I never thought that cocaine would be something I could quit. And then after that, I just put my mind to it. And I just said, like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I never did cocaine. I never did drugs. And I'm just not going to do it anymore. And that's what happened. And I've never looked back. He did not like the feeling pills gave him when he had a spinal fracture in high school. Thank God, because so many of those guys, exactly, sports injuries. That's why I'm glad I gave Phoenix what I did and not all those Percocets. Because he literally had as many prescriptions as he needed. We're able to get him to admit before. I'll tell you, one of my friend's sons is in and out of rehab for meth. I mean, it's horrible. And he doesn't want to get clean. He'll get clean until he gets out of rehab. And it's horrible. I see what they're going through. Bye, last kiss. Yeah, I'm getting off in a minute anyway. I didn't want to make this a long live. I just want to put this out there. And I am going to say this. Full on hypocrisy, you've got to be the biggest fucking moron. That candle was never even made. That candle was something that I said to piss her off. It was never made. I cannot believe how many fucking morons have come in here spreading the same lie. What a bunch of fucking losers. My God. No, Jonice didn't pass away. Jonice passed away, you're going to see me crying. That's going to be a hard live to do. Serendipity. I know, Anita. It's like one spreads the lie and they just keep going with the same lie. It's comical to me. Absolutely comical. I think I was always so ADHD that I need to figure out how to calm down. Adderall? I don't care what anybody says. Adderall works for me. Brave, that's all I can say. Very brave to come here once again and be open, honest, understand. Always. I don't care what these assholes are miserable. Yeah, she was a YouTube creator, Jerry. And I know that a lot of people in my community did not even know. I mean, they knew her, but they didn't know what happened. Adderall with script, yes. But I can't believe they would put fentanyl in Adderall. Like, why? I agree, true crime. Like, why? I never even understood why people put Adderall in meth. I'm like, it's two different drugs. I could see putting in heroin, but I don't know. That's what I take, Jerry. But like somebody said yesterday, when we used to buy cocaine, they used to cut it with like baking soda. Now it's cut with fentanyl. Why? That's scary. It's really scary. They are putting fentanyl. I can tell you, Jerry, honestly, from what I heard, that's what Brad used to use. Brad would cut shit with fentanyl. He had tons of fentanyl pills. I don't know why. I know, right? Drug dealers sold drugs. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why they would cut shit with fentanyl. I guess maybe the addiction factor. Oh, it was Willow that said that? I knew somebody said it. Maybe they were not script. Oh, yeah. No, it definitely wasn't script. To get more people addicted. It's just crazy, though. It's scary. I mean, you're really playing with your life. A lot of people are putting fentanyl. Oh, I don't know. Greed? I only ever known them to be... No, I've been... They come in pills. They break open or crush. Oh, people have pill presses now. That's crazy. And she said when someone ODs, the junkies try to go buy whatever they took. Wow. Serendipity died. She's someone from the drama community. I agree, Anastasia. Totally agree with that. Me too, Sky Moon. I believe my kids will stay off of drugs. I really do. Truly, truly do. The only one I was worried about was Dayton, and I just, after his dad's death, I don't see him doing drugs. I really don't. He swears he would never do it. Hopefully, it won't. You know, it's another thing I think of. Maybe Brad's death was so Dayton will never do drugs. Not in a while. She's an expatriate on true crime. She's been on a downward spiral for like a year. Grew and developed into a strong lady. Oh, absolutely. Dealer should be charged. Yeah, I read about that, St. Elmo's, that a lot of people are they're saying it's a Percocet or something, and it's actually not a Percocet. It is a uh whatchamacallit. It is a fentanyl pill. She died on Saturday night, I was told. I hope they are being charged with deaths. I really do. Yeah, Sarah was just, she was a good person. She had a good heart. I said all that earlier. But it's more for her friends to talk about, really good stories and stuff. I don't have too many good stories because everything that we ever talked about was deep. Like whenever we talked privately, it was always a very deep conversation. A lot of it was personal. So all I have is personal stuff with her that I wouldn't air out, which was kind of the point of this live. Like, don't air out her dirty secrets or don't air out personal stuff. But I focused on the addiction because I understand it well. That's why. But I can tell you, she had a good heart. She meant well. Even when she was bad, she meant well. And I hope that now that her demons are gone and now that she's at peace, fly high. Look over your granddaughter. I agree, Krugs. Talking about addiction is pretty important, though. I agree with that. Fly high. And to her daughter and her son and Brandon, just remember that it's a disease. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't, something to be mad at her about. It's not something to, hate her over. It wasn't her fault. Addiction, every addict is born that way. We don't turn into addicts. Yeah, we make the choice whether we're going to do drugs or not. That's our choice. But the addiction part isn't our choice. And nobody wakes up and says, I'm going to be an addict today. Nobody says, I decided, when I grow up, I want to be an addict. It doesn't work like that. It's a chemical imbalance that you're born with. It's a chemical imbalance that any addict has. What we choose to do with it, that's on us. If we choose to do drugs, that's on us. If we don't choose to do drugs, that's on us. But the addiction part is all us. Tacos did, Gretchen. It was horrible. Trust me when I tell you it was horrible. She aired out. She was overly hysterical, like overly hysterical. And talking about how she signed the lease over to tacos. It's weird. It's very, very weird. That's all I'm going to say. It's just weird. Yeah, you have to stop you have to stop the drug addiction on your own. Like I'll always be an addict. Every addict is always an addict. That's never going to change. Once you're an addict, you're always an addict. But the drugs is a choice. She had just had a grandbaby. She's having another one too. No, I have not, Kelly. Talking about addiction is the best conversation I have. The more knowledge we can share leads us to more saying no to drugs. I agree with that too. Yeah, it seems her daughter was pregnant now as well. It's sad all around. I don't think anyone expected this. Nobody wanted this to happen. And just fly high, Sarah. Look over your granddaughter, look over your grandson, look over your family, look over Brandon, you know. And Brandon and her had some problems, but you know what? Oh, well. People always have problems. And just learn from it. Any one of her friends learn from this. Make it, kiss your loved ones, kiss your kids. If you are in the middle of an addiction, please go get help. Please. You just talked to her after a morning live, see? Yeah, Sarah would always go live at like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 8 in the morning. She wanted to go live for anyone else. And she was addicted to YouTube. She was addicted to, lots of things. That's just her. But it was her. You either took her or you didn't take her, but you liked her or you didn't like her. But either way, nobody should die of any addiction. Plain and simple. And on that note, I'm going to cut out because I got stuff to do and the kids will be home. Well, Sage will be home any minute. So again, if you're struggling with addiction, please reach out to someone for help. Even if it's a stranger, just tell them you need help. Don't ever feel ashamed of being an addict. Don't ever feel that you can't reach out to someone because there's always someone that's there for you. Oh, Weezy said we were both recovering together. See? There's always someone to reach out to. There's always someone that can help. And just remember, no matter what, it's not that bad. No matter what, you can get through this. No matter what. Whatever, just like you tell your kids, no matter what happens in your life, doing drugs is not going to make it better. Finding an excuse to get high is never going to make it better. It's only going to make it worse. It may do good short term, but it's never going to make it long term. It's never going to be better long term. So with that said, I'm going to play that Johnny Cash song one more time because I think it's just an amazing song. I know Sarah liked country, and I just think it fits perfectly. So, Sarah, this is your tribute. I wish you luck in the afterlife, and all your ghosts are gone now. And now you can live at peace. Yeah, Sarah died. She passed away Sunday night. So I'm going to close out with this song. It's the same one I open with, but like I said, I think it's a beautiful song, and I think Sarah would love it. Well, thank you, Be Botanical. Believe me, I need lots of coffee. I am like dying over how much I still got to do. All right, where's my display? Hold on.